Modified Unit 4 exam, Ancient Egypt, 7th grade social studies. Choose the best answer for the questions below. Do not write on this exam packet. Bubble the best answer on your grade exam sheet. Number 1. What was the most important physical feature of ancient Egypt? A. The Red Sea, B. The Mediterranean Sea, or D. The Nile River. Number 2. Which of the following best defines a delta? A long narrow strip of marshy land, B, a tough water plant used to make paper and rope, or D, a triangular shaped area of land where sediment is deposited at the mouth of a river. Number 3. What made sailing the Nile River dangerous and difficult? A, delta, B, cataracts, or C, wildlife. Question 4. Why did settlements in Egypt cluster around the Nile River? A. It was a source of fresh water in an area that was mostly desert. B. The cataracts on the river made it easy to travel. Or C. It formed a natural barrier to protect people living in the valley. 5. How do deserts play an important role in the development of Egypt? B. The deserts bordered waterways that were very salty. C. They formed a natural barrier to protect people living near the Nile. Or D. Invaders were able to easily cross the desert and conquer Egypt. Number 6. Which of the following factors did the Egyptians have in common with the Mesopotamians? A. Polytheistic. C. Built irrigation systems for their crops. Or D. All of the above. Number 7. How did the Nile River provide natural irrigation and fertilization? B. Every year the river overflowed and soaked the dry ground, leaving rich silt behind. C. In the south, parts of the Nile River ran through valleys and hills. Or D. Wide expanses of flat land were good for farming in Egypt. Number 8. Which of the following statements about Menes is not true? B. Unified Egypt through the use of his army and his marriage to a princess of Lower Egypt. C. Ruled Egypt from Nekhen, the capital of Upper Egypt. Or D. Combined the crowns of Lower and Upper Egypt into one to symbolize his leadership as the first pharaoh of Egypt. Question 9. The first and second dynasties ruled Egypt for around 4 centuries. Around 2700 BC, the third dynasty rose to power. Its rule marked the beginning of which period in Egyptian history? A. Old Kingdom, B. Middle Kingdom, or C. New Kingdom. Number 10. What kingdom was created by the reunification of Egypt under Pharaoh Menetep? A. Old Kingdom, B. Middle Kingdom, or C. New Kingdom. Number 11. Which kingdom was defined by Egypt's greatest period of wealth and power? It is often referred to as Egypt's Golden Age. A. Old Kingdom, B. Middle Kingdom, or C. New Kingdom. Number 12. During the Middle Kingdom, what group invaded Lower Egypt and were able to gain control and rule for 200 years due to their advanced weapons and battle skills? A. Sea People, B. Hyksos, or C. Hittites. Number 13. Which Egyptian pharaoh is most remembered for increasing trade by sending a group of Egyptian traders south to trade with the Kingdom of Punt on the Red Sea and north to trade with the people of Asia Minor and Greece? A. Ramses the Great, C. Queen Hatshepsut, or D. Ahmose. Number 14. How did Ahmose manage to become king of all of Egypt? B. He defeated the Hyksos and drove them from Egypt. C. He took the throne from his stepmother, Queen Hatshepsut. Or D. He was selected by the sun god Amun-Ra to run all of Egypt. 15. Which of the following statements describes why scribes were important in society? A. They worked for the government. B. They worked for temples writing religious texts. Or D. All of the above contributed to their importance in society. Number 16. Which of the following statements about pharaohs is not correct? B. Pharaohs were given absolute power over the land and people of Egypt. C. Pharaohs did everything themselves and never had to hire anyone else to help them. Or D. Pharaohs had many responsibilities and were often blamed for misfortunes. Number 17. The Egyptian pharaoh who built the Great Pyramid of Giza and was the most famous pharaoh of the Old Kingdom was A. Menes, B. Ramses II, or C. Khufu. Number 18. Building the Great Pyramid was an amazing feat. No one knows exactly how the Egyptians did it. The pyramid took more than 20 years to complete. Based on the passage above, what can the reader infer about the builder of the Great Pyramid? A. The builder did all the work himself. B. The builder was a great leader who was good at organizing workers to complete this great work. Or D. The builder wanted to show that he was a god. 19. The largest social class in Egyptian society that made up around 80% of their population was A. Nobles, B. Scribes, or C. Farmers. Number 20. Although Egypt was well protected by its geography, it was not isolated from trading with other cultures. During the Old Kingdom, Egypt traded with many of its neighboring kingdoms such as Punt, Nubia, and Syria. Which of the following items did they acquire from these trading partners? A. Gold and ivory, C. Incense and myrrh, or D. All of the above. 21. Who was the god of the underworld? A. Osiris, C. Ra, or D. Isis. Number 22. A line of rulers from one family is known as A. Terminal, B. Monumental, or C. Dynasty. 23. Much of the Egyptian religion focused primarily on the belief in the afterlife of the blank. A. Ka, B. Soul, C. Spirit. Number 24. Which of the following people or groups used the practice of mummification to preserve their dead in ancient Egypt? B. Nobles, C. Pharaohs, or D. All of the above. 25. The correct term for a person responsible for building and designing the tombs and temples of Egypt was known as an B. Artist, C. Builder, or D. Architect. Number 26. Soldiers receive payments for their jobs in which of the following ways? A. Spoils of war, keeping the treasure they captured. C. Land granted to them for service. Or D. Both A and C. Number 27. At age 14, what did most boys do? A. Quit school to enter into their father's profession as an apprentice. B. Go into the priesthood to serve their favored god. Or D. Join the army to fight for the pharaoh. Number 28. The application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes is known as B. Engineering, C. Afterlife, or D. Elite. Number 29. Which of the following statements is not true? A. A pyramid was built to symbolize the importance of a pharaoh. B. Historians today know exactly how the pyramids were constructed. Or C. The pyramid shape symbolized the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife. Number 30. With which group was the world's first peace treaty created during the reign of Ramses the Great? A. Assyrians, B. Hittites, or D. Phoenicians. Number 31. Because women in ancient Egypt had the right to own land, file for divorces, and even run their own businesses, we as readers can infer that A. Women had very difficult lives. C. Ancient Egypt was very progressive and offered more rights than other civilizations from this era. Or D. Men in ancient Egypt were the primary providers. Number 32. Most Egyptian upper-class citizens saw artisans as mere laborers. What conclusion can you draw from this statement? B. They were underappreciated and never acknowledged for their accomplishments. C. Because of this, today there are many well-known artists from ancient Egypt we can study. Or D. All of the above statements are true. Using the two excerpts below and your knowledge of world history to answer the following question. The Egyptians had traditionally worshipped a whole pantheon of gods who were represented in human or animal form or as animal-headed humans. The pharaoh, Akhenaton, raised Aton, the sun god, to the position of sole god. Akhenaton and his family are frequently shown worshipping the Aton. This is from Dr. Kate Spence, 2011, from Akhenaton in the Amarna period. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, from the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make yourself an idol. You shall not recognize other gods before me. You shall not make yourself a carved image, or any likeness of what is in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the water under the earth. This is from the Ten Commandments, the book of Exodus from the Hebrew Torah. 33. Based on the excerpts above, which of the following is the best conclusion? B. Ancient Hebrews were neither concerned with mortality nor behavior. C. Ancient Hebrews and Egyptians under Akhenaton's rule were polytheistic. Or D. Ancient Hebrews and Egyptians under Akhenaton's rule were monotheistic. Number 34. What does the following statement imply? Egypt is the gift of the Nile. Herodotus, Greek historian. A. Egypt has rewarded the world with the Nile. B. The Nile supports civilization in Egypt. Or D. The Nile itself was worshipped as a god. Number 35. What was the result of the discovery of the Rosetta Stone? A. The translation of Egyptian hieroglyphics. C. The revelation of the secrets of mummification. Or D. The looting and robbing of Tutankhamun's tomb. Number 36. The earliest examples of Egyptian writing are from around 3300 BC and were carved onto stone. However, the Egyptians shortly after this learned how to make a long-lasting paper-like material called A. Hieroglyphics, B. Rosetta Stone, or D. Papyrus. 37. Which of the following might you find at an Egyptian temple? A. Rows of stone sphinxes, B. A stone obelisk, or D. All of the above. Number 38. Which temple was built by Ramses the Great? A. Luxor, C. Abu Simbel, or D. Both A and C. 39. Which of the following statements about Egyptian paintings is not correct? A. People's heads and legs are always seen from the side, but their upper bodies and shoulders are shown straight on. B. Pharaohs would appear smaller than a priest. Or D. Egyptian animals were usually drawn realistically. Question 40. Which pharaoh's tomb was discovered in 1922 taught historians much about Egyptian burial practices and beliefs? A. Ramses the Great, C. King Tutankhamun, or D. Ahmose. For questions 41 through 45, match the definition to the vocabulary found below. 41. People from rich and powerful families. A. Sphinxes, B. Trade routes, C. Mummies, D. Nobles, or E. Afterlife. 42. Life after death. A. Sphinxes, B. Trade routes, C. Mummies, D. Nobles, E. Afterlife. 43. Special treated bodies wrapped in cloth. A. Sphinxes, B. Trade routes, C. Mummies, D. Nobles, E. Afterlife. 44. Imaginary creatures with the body of lions and the heads of other animals or human. A. Sphinxes, B. Trade routes, C. Mummies, D. Nobles, E. Afterlife. 45. Paths followed by traders. A. Sphinxes, B. Trade routes, C. Mummies, D. Nobles, E. Afterlife. For questions 46 through 50, use your background knowledge in the social pyramid found below to answer the questions. 46. Which social class was valued the highest after the pharaoh/king? A. Scribes, C. Government officials, D. Slaves. 47. Which social class required you to be highly skilled to belong to? A. Slaves, B. Farmers, C. Artisans. 48. Which social class was considered to be descended from the gods? A. Priest, B. Scribes, D. Pharaoh. 49. Which group of people had the least amount of rights in ancient Egypt? A. Peasants, B. Slaves, D. Craftsmen. And final question, number 50. Which groups of people were expected to work during the flooding season of the Nile to complete special duty projects for the pharaoh? A. Merchants, B. Farmers, C. Artisans. Congratulations, you have completed your Unit 4 exam. Please turn in your completed grade camp sheet and a copy of your modified exam to your social studies teacher.